our Zoom participants, and our FB Live viewers. So welcome po to our Copywriting, Writing Web, and Blog Content webinar. So first po, let me first discuss our house rules. So by default, your mic and video are turned off para po makapag-save tayo ng ating bandwidth. Drop your questions in the chat box section. This will be accommodated during Q&A portion of the webinar. So yung mga Zoom participants po natin ay meron tayong section for the Q&A. And for our FB Live viewers po, sa comment nyo na lang po ilagay yung inyong mga questions at ibibigay po natin yan sa ating RT. Next, be sure to listen and take notes in lieu of the certificates. You will fill out the evaluation form and pass the post-webinar assessment. So para po sa ating mga participants, kailangan nyo pong magot ng evaluation form along with the assignment or output needed. So yung output natin ay inassign po sa atin ng ating resource person. And kailangan nyo lang po i-upload sa inyong Google Drive or gawin sa Google Docs ang ating output. Then kindly share the link with view access po sa ating section ng evaluation form which says assignment. Note that we have to make sure na nakaset po sa anyone with the link ang permission or restriction ng link nyo. The link of the evaluation form will be posted after ng ating webinar. So deadline ng evaluation po will be tomorrow, Friday, August 21, 2020 until 12 noon. Lastly po, digital certificates will be given within 2 to 3 weeks after this webinar. So, like our Facebook page, which is the ICT Luzon Cluster Sorsogon, to know more of our upcoming schedules and activities. And now, to introduce our research speaker for today, I'll be calling Ma'am Vina, our Provincial Officer of the ICT Sorsogon. So, Ma'am Vina.
Good afternoon. My name is Vina. I am in charge of our DIC Sorsogon Provincial Office, and we are now conducting another webinar for you because it's really a mission, part of the mission of the ICT to help in countryside development. And one of the strategies is we design activities, trainings, webinars, so that we can improve the competitiveness of our rural areas for ICT development, ICT industry development. So one of which is we are training the people, our teachers, our government employees, our OSY, our Filipinos, so that they will have more skills and they will be more competitive in the ICT industry. So for this afternoon, we are on our second offering for copywriting, and we have with us our very respected and very competent resource person. She is a freelance online copywriter and actually an artist. So without further ado, we'd like to let us welcome Miss Jenny G. Jimenez. Miss Jenny, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon po. Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for thank you for the invitation, and I'm really happy to be here again. Also to have this it's actually the second series from out of the 3 series on online copywriting. So let's start. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Yun. So for this discussion, we'll be having more on the writing on web content and blog content. So last time, just a quick overview review of what we have discussed last time. It's more on the introduction. So it's discussing why we need to learn copywriting, why is it important, how to do copywriting. Well, it's just an overview lang, like where do we apply copywriting. Also, what would be its importance, how would it affect. So basically, then we had an assignment. If you'll notice, for those who attended last time, the assignment was more on questions lang. So it's um, after this, there will be another assignment. Also, as I go through this later after this discussion, I'll be entertaining questions. So just take note, whatever it is that you want to ask, or whatever questions that came up in your minds as we go through this. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so online copywriting, writing web and blog content. So for this discussion, our objectives is to understand why writing content for your web is very important, to differentiate between web and blog content, and also to produce web content. That is really the main purpose, and hopefully on your assignment you'll be able to have this at ease. So, of course, I would like to also take note kasi most of the time when we discuss web content and blog content, there will always be an SEO optimization. But for this discussion, we'll just focus on how to do the web content without the optimization part, or without including the SEO. Siguro from time to time, we'll be mentioning some stuff related to it, but it's not really direct na in detail natin madi-discuss. So, yeah. Okay. So why is writing content for your website important? So we have here 3 points. One is it tells something about your brand. It allows your brand to engage with your audience, and it increases audience retention about your brand. So di ba pag nasa website, may website ang business mo or kahit Facebook page, it's an online, parang minamarket mo na siya sa online space, or for people to see you there as well. When we say brand, it is, pwede mo sabihin your project, your company, your products. So it allows brand to engage with your audience, because most of the audiences right now is online. It's definitely the same with traditional, like yung mga flyers, but of course that is more limited. Kung sino lang yung mabibigyan na ng flyers, that's the sila lang yung pwede makapag-engage sa'yo, but not exactly na magtatanong agad sila. But with your content online, they will be able to contact you, they will be able to comment on your post, they will be able to also ask questions and immediately call you if they have any inquiries there. So of course, increases audience retention about your brand. The more they see, you know, practice with retention is the more you repeat it, the more it retains sa head natin. So it's the same thing with online, since everybody's now online, everybody has their mobile phones, they can access the internet there. So the more they see it, even sa ads, the more they get used to, the more it sticks with them. So technically, your website or your content online, whether it's on your website or your blog, it's your voice. So we have here, let's differentiate first what is a web content or website content and what is a blog content. So when we say website, we have a location in the World Wide Web. Para yung bahay mo online. Yan. And yung pages, pwede mo siyang i-picture out na, ang pages is, ito yung living room, ito yung dining room, ganun siya. So, ang pages ng World Wide Web, pwedeng may homepage ka, you have your About Us page, you have even your own blog page there, dedicated blog page, and a contact page or any other pages that you want to add. Of course, yung mga content na nandoon are all related. Hindi pwedeng yung sa homepage mo about your brand and then the next page mo, iba na. So, there is relatedness there sa lahat ng mga contents dyan. Another is the blog naman. It is it's more on information. It educates, it seeks to educate. And it is like a picture out na para siyang online publication. Actually, it is. You post articles, and as we can see here, I've also listed out, we have here the difference. A website is static, meaning when you write it, hindi na siya yun na yun. Meron siyang about, meron siyang konting description, meron siyang tagline, that's it. Ang blog, once you post, regulated siya, meaning meron kang schedule when you're going to publish your content. There would be a specific topic to discuss. Minsan, feature article to, sa susunod na next week, tips naman, sa susunod naman, it's a feature interview on someone. So, yeah. Next is, a website is more formal because it's direct, it's professional in a way na it really is, it speaks about who you are or what your offering is. Another is naman sa blog naman, it's informal kasi it's more on engagement purposes. Another is, ito naman, a website focuses on the products and services that you offer, whereas your blog focuses on the industry issues. So that is where you give your tips, you give solutions to certain problems, answers to certain queries that your audiences have. So, yun. And also we mentioned this, website has pages, a blog has posts. Now, web content. So, ano ba yung meron sa isang web content? First, it can be an introduction about your brand. It shares the benefits that you offer. Another is your brand's tagline, yung mga parang motto-motto. And then your team's values. There are some who gives or shares the core values of the company, especially for those na gustong mag-apply din doon. So, it easily gives them an insight to what is the brand more, or it gives them a deeper understanding what the company is about. So there's also the people behind the brand. May iba nagsasabi, this is the CEO, this is the president, this is the person behind the camera, or this is the person behind the creative forces in this company, something like that. Now, your mission and vision, and also the services you offer. Importante talaga pag web content, services talaga na offer. And also your contact information. There are websites which are designed na pwede ka na dun maglagay na lang ng your message and then your email address where they can email you back. Whereas there are those that gives out not just their email addresses, but also their phone numbers and even the location of their office address, Google Maps, and even yung social media nila na nakalink sa website. So, they even share yung affiliate or partners nila, and also they have their own blogs. So this is an example of a website, of a web page rather. So we have here, this is, you are the best for your business. Then they have a short description. It has, pwede itong area na to, pwedeng they can give their process, how they do their work, etc. This is now another example, but this is more on the content, the contact area, the contact page. So let me try to share with you an example. Kasi this one is not working. Sorry. Yun. Okay. So this is Sphinx. As you can see, this is a website. I researched this. I checked out kung ano ngayon yung pinaka-recommended ng mga or best designed website. This is the company offers web design, and as you can see, and I thank you. Okay. So we have here Sphinx. This is an example of a website that one of recommended ones right now as a good example. So we have here big ideas, creative people, new technology. We think big. Every content that you see here is well thought of. It's copywriting. It's what we do in copywriting. So this is an example of web content. So hindi siya pwedeng i-update lang ng basta-basta. Static siya, meaning yan na yan. They also offer the recent work. Dati may mga websites, itong recent work, tapos yung ibang areas na nandito lang sa homepage, iba-ibang pages pa siya nakadedicate. So So we have expertise, their process, the agency, and as you can see, the blog. So later we'll check on that blog. Okay. Where? Sorry. Okay. Kita pa naman. Okay, so blog content naman. Blog is actually shortcut lang ng weblog. So a blog content is more on the educational side. It is informative. It is informative. It is educational. It focuses on the issues that needs to be addressed, especially the issues ng mga your target audience. And it provides more dimension compared sa web content. Kasi sa web content, di ba, it's just fixed. That's it. Ang blog naman, it is updated. It has new articles, let's say every week, or if you have a writer workforce, you have every day. Some websites have, they can release like 5 posts, mga news related. That's how they do it. They have more content to show and to share every day. And of course, regularly updated. So later we will also share naman kung why may mga website na may blog din. So another example, if you have time, you can check out Sphinx Digital and tignan nyo din yung examples just to see the relatedness. But for now, here is, this is a screenshot. It's, as you can see, in yung blog, they have here how to fix the link you followed has expired error in WordPress. So it's a topic, and then they have a new topic, and then they have a new topic. Okay. So a blog content can be, a blog content can be a tip, a top recommendation, a feature of a new product, a product review, a how-to, an update, or an answer to previous questions from readers. So there are many ways for you to even get ideas what to write on your website. Kasi just remember that your blog content is where you engage more with your audience. So you get to communicate with them, you get to know what they want to know, what they want to learn from you, etc., etc. So it can also be connected to your website, and it can also be connected to your social media. And also remember that a blog site is its own website. There are a lot of people who have their own blogs. I have my blog. There are others naman na hindi naman talaga specific na website ng katulad na nakita natin kanina, but they have their blogs. That's where they also offer what they do. There are those who offer art stuff, calligraphy, etc. Okay, next. So, takeaway, web and blog content writing. A website content is static, while a blog content is regularly updated. Remember, a website content, it's more formal, it's more professional because it speaks who you are. It speaks to your brand. It tells more about your brand. It introduces your brand to the people. Whereas your blog content is regularly updated, sharing useful information to people, to your audience, your target audience, and it is where you engage more with them. It is informal because you really communicate with them and you make them feel that they are really communicating to a human, to someone. Hindi siya machine, hindi siya automated. Okay. So now, let's go. How to write website content. So considerations. Before you write anything, you have to make sure that you understand your readers. I've said this last time. It's always about your readers. You write not because you want to be understood, but because you understand. Period. Now, when you write your website content, you have to consider first who is your target audience. Yeah. So, bakit? Your brand exists for something. It is to serve a certain group of people. you see a need. Therefore, you have your products, you have your services, you offer it to someone because you want to give solution to that problem. So, ibig sabihin, meron ka na talagang target audience. So you have to know exactly, your brand should communicate exactly what they want to know and what they need at the moment. So your website tells your target audience about your brand, why your brand exists. So the website can be accessed by anyone. While we have our target audience to primarily communicate to, there are also people who right now they may not be that interested or they may not know about anything about what you offer right now, but they can access your website. And another is, of course, not every visitor, since everybody can access your website, not every visitor is an expert that can understand every jargon, every term that you share. So it is very important for you to make sure they understand what you share on your website. So reading on a screen, ito yung worry ng mga taong may salamin tulad ko. So reading on a screen is more tiring for the eyes. Aminin natin, hindi natin kaya magbasa ng screen sa laptop ng matagal. So, another is people have shorter attention span when reading content. When it's online, there are so many distractions. Andyan si Facebook, andyan si Twitter, andyan si Instagram, andyan yung mga updates, pop-ups. So, another is, minsan, in a rush tayo pag nag-research online. So, shorter attention span, tsaka isa pa, we have to also, babalik tayo dito sa reading on the screen is more tiring for the eyes. Then, of course, another consideration is your website is all about marketing your service. So, there are other considerations eventually as you go through your own website content journey, your own writing journey, you will figure them out. These are what I personally consider. Okay, there may be more out there, since of course I admit naman na I'm not. There are people who are ahead of me, who are better than me. Maybe they have other considerations as well. They have more considerations as well. But this is what I personally have considered whenever I would write content online. So tips, since we have those considerations, we have also tips to share. So first is know who your target audience is. I've said that before. This is where we go with persona. It was shared on the introduction briefly, but persona is more on the branding side. At least you get to know how you would communicate, the tone that you would carry throughout your content. If your target audiences are young people or young professionals, then of course yung tone ng content or even how you speak to them would be in accordance to how they also speak. The same with, let's say, pambata yung website mo uh, for kids, for toddlers. Siyempre, ang toddler hindi naman nakabasa. So, sino ang target audience mo talaga doon? It's the moms. So, you talk according to how they would understand everything. Sorry. So, you talk. Thank you. So, you talk according to how the moms would understand your content. So let's say, for example, they're starting with their homeschooling journey. So you give them the right guide, the right tone. Oh, for mommies, this is how you have to do it. This is how you have to guide them. So another tip is use the inverted pyramid format. Why? Because sabi nga natin, others have short attention span. Others would just briefly read your content. They would just go through the first paragraph. Another is, so the inverted pyramid will have that explained more later. So, of course, keep sentences simple. Your web content, as you may have noticed kanina yung example natin, it's very short. Parang yung iba short lang, tas dito a bit longer, but it's still short. There are areas which are in big letters. There are areas which are more emphasized. So, just keep it simple. But if you read that content, very simple lang yung pag-execute. Wala masyadong technical jargons for those who are non-techies. Although it's a web design firm, it doesn't necessarily mean their target audiences understand how to do web design or any technical stuff. So they kept it simple. Use active voice, not passive voice. Now another is show what you offer. Dito usually may ibang pitfall. When you say show what you offer, you describe exactly. Like, for example, hindi mo naman sasabihin sa kanila na we sell teddy bears. Ganon. When you say show what you offer, you say our teddy bears is made from this area. It has a soft fur. It fits children with asthma. It doesn't. It's not your regular dust collector. So that is how you show what you offer. So very specific. Madami siyang may mga details siya, but you have to keep it simple in accordance with the tone na it's as if you're talking to them, not you want them to understand what you have to offer, but rather because you're talking to them, you understand this is what you need. Okay. So spell acronyms. Whenever, this is for those who are, of course, as I said earlier, not everybody is an expert when they go, or not everybody understands the jargon you use in your industry. So it's very important that if you have acronyms in your web content, you spell it out on the first paragraph or on its first mention. Another is make content scannable. Scannable meaning madali kang mag-scroll dun sa content na yun. You can easily check it out, not exactly read it word for word, but madali mo siyang i-review. And of course, use a photo or video if necessary for your content, for people to understand what you are trying to say. Okay. Now, how to write blog content. As you may notice, the considerations are almost the same, but you have to take note again that a website content is more formal and it speaks about your brand, whereas your blog speaks about or shares information that are useful for the audiences. So blogs are more informative and engaging. It focuses on providing useful information. So yung isa, again, it's all about your brand. It's all about what you can offer and how you can help them. The blog naman gives them useful information. So a blog can be accessed by anyone as well. So again, if you notice the tips, nakalagay naman doon, knowing who your target audience are, especially pag nagsusulat ka na ng blog post, there are some posts na hindi naman, you have a specific target audience, diba? It's a group. Tapos, din sa group na yan, may other parang subgroup who matatarget ng isang type of blog content. Or isa na naman na group na mas interested sa ganitong content. Ganon. But all of them belong to the same target audience ng website mo. Yeah. Another is research well on the topic. That's another tip. Since you're writing useful information, you have to research. Is this what my target audience really needs? What is their worry about this certain issue? Are there any other solutions? Can you recommend solutions? It can be your personal suggestion or tips, and it can be from other resources. But of course, in everything that you write, if you take it from someone else, you have to give credit where credit is due. Okay. So next naman, a blog can not every visitor is an expert or can understand your industry jargon. So again, make sure that your content is easy to read, simple, and you have to, of course, spell out acronyms for them to understand. You have to explain further, or if you can make it, let's say, a very complicated term, make it more for people who can't understand, layman's terms, something like that. Now, reading on screen, again, tiring is tiring for the eyes. So later, mas makikita niyo how we can make it scannable. That's actually one of the reasons why first we have to have the like an overview of what the content is on the top or the first paragraph, and why we have to make the content scannable. It's for people who have short reading span, attention reading span, and who finds it tiring for to read on the screen. So blog content may or may not be connected to the website. So anybody can have a blog and anybody can start their own blog. And again, if needed, we can use photos and videos to uh, to help others know more or get more an idea what you're sharing. I sorry. Okay, so takeaway. So web content sells your brand. It markets your brand. A blog content can show your brand's expertise or it can show your expertise. So let's say you love arts. Someone submitted their assignment from last series, and it's very interesting kung ano yung mga scenario niya na vision, mission, and why he's pursuing his project, and it's all about arts. Uh, Doing a community. So, maybe if there's a blog, pwedeng mag-share ng content like how are you going to encourage or how are you going to teach young young artists, kids how to do watercolor art, how to incorporate uh, arts for homeschooling. Those can be good topics for web content or for a blog content rather. I'm sorry. Okay, next. So now let's go emphasize more why we have to make it scannable and how to make it scannable or easy for those who have short attention span when they are reading online or when they are reading from the screen. First is the inverted pyramid. For those who are doing news articles, the inverted pyramid is not new. As you naalala nyo, if for those na, excuse me, for those who have been writing news content, if you remember the 5 Ws and 1 H. So, yung lahat, and then when, where, what, why, ganon. For web content, though, you can start with why they need to know or why they need to read what you have to share, or why is it important for them to check it out. And as I said earlier, hindi lahat ng nasa target audience mo sa website would be interested when it comes to blog posts naman. There are specific blog posts with more specific target audiences then. So you have to consider those. Next. Ay, also pala. Sige. Inverted pyramid. Yung una yung parang summary or generalization what the content is. And then you specify or support it with details as you go along, with the least details at the bottom part or with the least important detail at the bottom part. So, ganun lang din siya pag nagsusulat ka ng blog content or website content. Dati mahaba-haba pa yung website content, but right now at least it's shorter, and it's actually easier to scan and to know more about the brand. So how to make content scannable? Yeah. May mga iba na pag nagsulat sila parang all in paragraph form. So since we're reading online and since everybody is not going to go through your whole content, except they just want to check out the most important details, that's primarily the reason why they're in your content or they're in your blog. First, of course, is you have to give an overview of what the content is about on your first paragraph. You can use numbers like step 1, step 2, step 3, or first consideration, second consideration. Ganun. Hindi siya yung paragraph na this is the introduction and then next paragraph. Firstly, this is ganyan. Secondly, this is what happened. No, you put you can put numbers in it. You can also use bullet points to make it easy for them to scan. You can highlight details. You can bolden them or italize them. You can also use subheadings. For those, I think it would be it would be helpful for you to also do an outline before you write. Kasi minsan yung outline, for me personally, it can, pag nag-outline ako ng content, pwedeng yun na yung subheadings ko. Pwede na pag nag-outline ako naka-bullet points, tapos, tsaka ko siya titirahin na i-explain ko pa siya lalo. Minsan na, pag ganito yung format, mas easier siya kasi pwedeng yung idea, may idea ka na dito sa part na to, pero um, hindi mo pa magawa-gawa yun sa isang part ng idea before it. You can just jump and just do it or go back to it later. So yun yung maganda minsan pag nakaganito yung content. And most especially, it helps readers who maybe they just want or want to know more about a certain detail of your content or something that you shared. Meron kang share na definition, let's say, and it's on one of the bullet points, or they're just interested on, let's say, top 3 na nandoon sa content mo. Or for those na drama fans, it's may napapansin ako minsan sa mga contents nila, they just highlight on areas which was shared, hindi naman the whole content, but they just highlight on a specific area for their post of what they want to share. Okay. So web and blog content writing, always consider the audience's reading experience. We're all about the users. We're all about us understanding them and their needs, especially how to make it more convenient for them. So, writing titles. Of course, hindi lang to content na yun lang. When we write titles also online, there are specific considerations that we also have to take into mind. And one of which is how it is searched, how people search for information, because yung title ninyo can actually help with, dito na papasok actually si SEO or si optimization, content optimization. But as I've said, hindi tayo dun magda-dive masyado, just a few bits of it. So here's my take. First, be very specific. You have to deliver what you promise. You have to be, hindi siya generalized ang paggawa ng title. Okay? Another is keep it simple yet compelling. Later we'll have examples. Also consider your search terms. So there are people, when they go to Google or to any web browser, they would just search for information like, for example, how to fix your light bulbs, or how to maintain your car, or how to format your computer. Specific yan. May mas specific pa actually doon. So, another thing na napansin ko is odd numbers attract more when writing top recommended features. Although there are features na pwede natin sabihin top 10 or top 20, it's attractive. But if you'll notice, mas makakita kayo ng top 5, top 7, top 3. Walang top 4, walang top 6 masyado. Puro karamihan sa kanila odd numbers. So, tignan natin. We have here examples. So one example of a title is top 5 delivery services in Sorsogon to tie up with. So sino ang target audience nito? The target audience would be the homepreneurs, those who are interested in, those who are doing business on their own homes, or especially with this pandemic, karamihan ng mga businesses puro mas recommended ngayon magpa-deliver ka na lang sa bahay. And there are delivery services right now. So ibig sabihin, there are businesses hindi mo na kailangan pang for business owners, hindi mo na kailangan pa na mag-hire ng sarili mong magde-deliver or merong sariling motor, ganyan. You can tie up with delivery services which gives this solution. So, top 5 delivery services in Sorsogon. Hindi ko sinabi lang na ganon, but sinabi ko specific, top 5 delivery services in Sorsogon to tie up with. So, alam mo na agad, ito yung target audience nito. Now, another example is 3 simple yet effective ways to create compelling titles for a fashion blog post. Very specific. So for those na magsa-start pa lang, let's say, on writing content or web content, you can say three simple ways to create compelling titles. Very general. It may be specific in a way, but it's still very general. Make it more specific for fashion bloggers or for those who are interested in writing their own fashion post or starting their fashion blogs. You can say three simple yet effective ways to create compelling titles. Pag sinabi mong three simple ways, simple lang siya. Pero gaano siya ka-effective? Pag effective, it's a power word for you to use. So, another power word there is compelling. Search terms, pwede natin sabihin ng search terms dyan is fashion blog. Uh, uh, Three ways to create titles. That's another search term. So, another naman example natin dito is how to keep wrinkle-free men's dress shirts when you're out of town. Very specific na naman. Although wala tayong nakalagay dito na 3 ways how to. So, ibig sabihin, you can give just one tip and then elaborate on the steps. Like step 1, this is what you do. Step 2, this is how you know. So how to keep wrinkle-free men's dress shirts. The keyword here actually is men's dress shirts. Yeah. So we want them to be wrinkle-free, and most of the time, those na out of town or maybe they have business trips, they need this type of content. So they are our target audience for this title. Writing article descriptions. So hindi lang nagtatapos sa pagsusulat ng content ang gagawin niyo when you do copywriting or when you do web copywriting or blog copywriting or blog writing. You have to also write descriptions. And these descriptions are usually 160 characters lang. They appear on search results. Para siyang snippets ng mga kung anong sinulat ko. Pag wala kang sinulat ng article description, what happens is the first paragraph of your content will be highlighted on search terms. So, ganun nag-work si SEO. Kaya meron tayong mga search terms din dyan na nilalagay sa mga content natin. But then again, that's SEO. So, how do we write article descriptions? First is be specific. What is the article about? It tells more the audience what is your content about, what is the title about. Another is keep it simple. Kasi 160 characters lang tayo, so we have to be very direct. And still intriguing or compelling. Consider search terms. This is where we apply SEO. So, may iba siguro maglagay sa search terms nila, like kanina, men's dress shirts. You can also include that in your article descriptions. Then, of course, we have it. It should have a call to action. So, pwedeng learn more, read out, check, or look for it. Or look onto this. So, example. Writing article descriptions. Looking for the most talked about TV, shows, and movies from around the world. They're all on Netflix. Kinuha ko to actually kanina sa Netflix. So, they made it intriguing. So, are you looking for shows and movies around the world? So, it's all on Netflix. So, what is the call to action? You just check out Netflix. So, look for Netflix. Look out for it on Netflix. Then another is from Macy's. So we have here dress shirts for men at Macy's come in a variety of styles and sizes. Shop top brands, shop top brands for men's dress shirts and find the perfect fit today. So there's a call to action which is shop top brands in Macy's. So they have the keywords dress shirts for men. That's actually a keyword. Sorry. Yeah. Previous. Okay. So dress shirts is their keyword. Men's dress shirts is another keyword search term. So they place it on the article descriptions because it gives higher chances for Google to have it show on the search results. That's how you do SEO copywriting. part of SEO copywriting. This is what we call the meta description. So next, takeaway. Keep titles and descriptions simple, compelling, and searchable. Additional tips. Yan, malapit na tayo. Additional tips. Remember that the most important word is you. It's not us, it's not me, it's not we, it's not I, it's you. Because you're talking to your reader. Another is research and check what your audience are looking for. Hindi ka lang tumira ng content. You have to know exactly what they need for you to be able to be more specific in your content, especially you can plan it out. Okay, and there we have create a content plan and schedule it. So, let's say na-plan out mo na, ito yung need ngayon, ito yung trend ngayon, ito yung mas kailangan nilang information. This is what can help them. It's always about how can I serve them? What service or how can I help them with the issues that they have right now? How can I at least give value? That is how a content becomes valuable. It shares something, it educates. So, create a content plan and schedule it. It's you can create article sets. Minsan may isang general idea ka. Let's say ngayon, COVID-19. What are specific content that you can share? What is the right way of wearing the mask? This one. How can businesses thrive despite this pandemic? What are the new, ang dami, home entrepreneurship or homepreneurship, as some have coined it. What is homepreneurship? How are these businesses thriving just at home at their homes? Another is spreading spinach, and how can you secure your deliveries are safe? So those are just ideas for content. And you can schedule when to write it and when to publish it. Best na masasabi ko is if you write it today, you just rest for a while or sleep on it and then edit it. Kasi iba yung mata mo pag kakagaling mo lang sa pagsusulat. Iba din yung mata mo pag naka-rest ka na and you're looking at the content that you just written. You can edit it and you can see all the errors. So yun yung last time, if you remember, the free writing exercise which I mentioned for those who attended last webinar, there is an exercise for you to just juggle, to condition your mind for writing, and that is free writing. Meaning it's as if you're shutting down first the logic side and just write whatever it is. But of course, you just do it on the pen and paper, not on the website. It's just an exercise just for you to get the juices flowing, your creative juices flowing, and then afterwards you go on to writing, rest for a bit, edit it, and if it's ready and if you see that it's fit, you've removed all unnecessary stuff, unnecessary fluff on your content, kept it simple, easy to understand, especially for your readers na hindi naman talaga, or readers na they're not really, they don't understand the jargon of your industry. Then if it's all ready, then you can just publish it or schedule it. At least you can review it from time to time. Or with the content plan, what happens also is you get to see what you can write now, or the articles you can just focus on for, let's say for this week, I'm going to write the content for the next 3 weeks. Let's say September, it's August, right? So, pwede mo na siyang sulatin ngayon and then edit it. Have someone check it for quality checking. Also, just remember that if you write or if you have other resources and it's found on the web, please acknowledge it, give credit to it, credit to the writer, and then have someone review it for if it's quality. That's how you write quality content, and then schedule it for the next month's publishing. So that's it for this web, and I think it's time for me to answer some of your questions. So,
So, okay po. Thank you po, Miss Jen. Sa mga questions po ninyo, i-drop nyo lang po dyan sa Q&A section natin dito para sa mga Zoom participants natin, while po sa FB Live viewers naman po. Just comment your questions po sa comment section, then we will read it po para sa ating resource person na si Miss Jenny Jimenez. Thank you, ma'am.
okay, so we have here one question. And how can you make your headline catchy na di mukhang clickbait? The point is, if you create a create a title, make sure that the content is actually as what your title promised. What do you mean by clickbait? As in yung promo pala siya, mga ads. If you can also elaborate on when you said clickbait or give an example. Kasi basta, okay, how do you know if your target audience is interested in your web content? There is what we call insights, or others have, insights usually. And you can see if it was visited by from which country, not exactly kung sino yung nag-visit, pero kung taga saan, ilan ang nag-click nito, ilan ang nag-visit nito, minsan nga how long. And that is for those who analyze the web content or blog content. So, also, if another way for you to know if they're interested in your web content, or in your blog content rather, they engage on it, or they leave a comment, they sometimes email you. So then, another question. In writing the sentence for content, what is effective? Is it in the active or passive form of sentence? It's always in the active. So, are there any other questions? Okay, would it be helpful to subscribe purchase tools such as Grammarly? Yes. I would advise you to subscribe on Grammarly. Sometimes I use Hemingway. Sometimes I use both Grammarly and Hemingway. So those are tools which are very helpful. Of course, you have to be very. It's actually free. You can have it for free. But minsan hindi lang ako dumidepende lang sa Grammarly or sa Hemingway. Talagang iti-check ko pa din siya. Kasi may time na nag-check ako Grammarly, yung kasama ko, yung nag-quality check naman din sa akin, uses Grammarly. Kung ano yung na-correct ko sa akin at sabi ni Grammarly, okay na. Pagdating sa kanya, hindi daw. So, you have to also check. Minsan din kasi, another is if you're considering, as I've said earlier, if your target audience is from a different country, or kailangan mo ding i-review yung culture, or the way they spell, or the way they talk, for you to be able to communicate with them more effectively. So, minsan, hindi naman yun offered in Grammarly. Minsan, sabihin niyo masyadong mahaba or fragmented, or hindi siya on point. May ganun sa Grammarly minsan. But yeah, it helps to have, or it helps to be subscribed to it. Okay, another question. I'm a beginner. What particular basics should I take note if my target audience would be elementary and high school students? What if my audience are professionals? Okay. I think this is more on how would you plan your content, or how would you lay out your content. If you are writing a blog, if your target audience are elementary students, sila talaga yung magbabasa, ha. Kailangan yung terms mo, maiintindihan talaga nila, tsaka madali din sa kanilang i-scan. Pero most of the time, pag elementary, especially for those na nag-homeschool, although hindi ko po masyado itong kamay kung bata talaga yung magbabasa. There are times kasi, ang mom ang nag-guide sa bata. So, your target audience is really the moms pa rin. For high school naman, yes, you have to make sure that if it's a website, let's say it's an information on history or information on math, make it simple for them to also catch kung ano man yung mga terms na gagamitin mo doon. Something that they could understand. So it's more on the level na ang una mong isipin is kaya ba nung batang intindihin kung ano yung yung terms mo or paano mo siya i-layout din. Ito ba masyado ba itong mahaba for them kung let's say dalawang paragraphs magkasunod o kailangan ko ba yung isa i-bullet point, yung isa is going one sentence, then eventually tsaka mo siya babalikan. Or maybe you can plan your content na instead na ito all about, let's say, all about Rizal. Pwede mo siyang i-plan yung content mo na okay, yung first topic na i-discuss mo or first content mo is all about yung childhood ni Rizal. Or who is, next content mo naman, sino yung mom ni Rizal. So, yung mga ganun. Okay. Is maintaining a blog site costly and how much? Okay. I have a free blog. You can use third-party blogs. WordPress. But if you want like yung sa'yo talaga si .com, usually nakita ko using WordPress in my case, you can just subscribe to them na nakalagay na may minsan 4,000. Depende sa plan na kukunin mo. May iba naman, they create it from scratch, but they pay for their domain, they pay for the premium account. So, yun basically. But yes, you can have it free if you're just starting. Just for you to get adjusted to it. Kasi naman nag-spend ka ng marami. But if you have a website, yes, you can have a dedicated page for your blog. So, yeah. Which is the most effective tools in copywriting? I can't really say kung ano yung pinaka-effective na tool. Kasi the point is what works well for you. As I've said earlier, I use Grammarly. I also use Hemingway. Before, I also used Evernote. Ano pa ba yung ginamit ko? For if you're writing for Amazon content or listing, there's Helium 10. Also use that. Hindi din ako nag-optimize ng content. Meron naman as Celix. They also have their own areas wherein you can edit your content, make sure it is optimized. So iba-iba. It's always what works well for you. Don't be afraid to check out or try stuff din naman. So pero yun, you can always have Grammarly, that it's free. Okay, can you provide an example that differentiates between active voice and passive voice? And is there efficiency in using passive voice? Efficiency and passive voice. More on sa blog content. Kasi may time naman na nakikita ka din siya sa ibang blog contents din. But mostly active voice ang tinatry nila. Dapat ba nabigay ako ng example? Okay, for SEO. Okay, what's the recommended minimum amount of words if you want my topic to be as simple as possible? Okay, when we say SEO, it's more on keywords. Oh, actually, babalik din tayo. Maganda rin ito yung question na ito na sa active and passive voice. Kasi I have to admit that there are keywords which are actually in passive voice. And these are key phrases. Pero minsan hindi mo siya pwede din na, hindi mo siya pwedeng ignore kasi kailangan mo siya to make it searchable or to make it makikita din ng audience eh. I mean, ma-acknowledge din ni Google eventually eh. So, medyo tricky din. Anyways, pero yun, pinaka-recommended pa rin more an active voice. And if you're using, for SEO naman, let's say if you have 300 to 500 word content for your blog, would be good. I think for SEO, it would be on the amount of keywords that you use on your content. The thing is, you don't want to make it spammy. You don't want to to spam your content with keywords. If let's say you're using one keyword for a blog post, let's say a 500 words, ako ginagamit ko 5 times ko siya mention sa blog content, minsan maximum na yun, 3 to 5. Then, hindi ko siya nilalagay sa same paragraph. May time din na I also use related keywords. Pero this is where on SEO, mas detailed ko. I am also a beginner is a topic about planting be catchy for high school students. Why not? Madami ngayong mga plantitos at plantitas. Di natin alam. Lahat naman kasi ng tao, di ba may kanya-kanya silang hilig. Like for example ako, I'm into arts. So I'd be interested in blogs that share how to do calligraphy or how to do watercolor painting to be more specific. For planting, sure, I want to read one. Hindi kasi ako green thumb. So, yun. Okay, how much does an online freelance copywriter earn here in the Philippines? Iba-iba. Iba-iba siya. Pero if you want more details on how much you should offer or how much you should rate yourself, I believe there is a group, freelance writing group, writers group, and I remember back in 2012. Pero recently din, tinignan ko rin sila. May mga advices on how much should you charge a client. So, iba-iba lang kasi. Kasi minsan din nag-i-evolve na rin. Like, for example, copywriter ngayon, one day, copywriter ng mga 2008, pwedeng eventually naging editor na, copy editor, or social media manager na. So, dun minsan nagbabasehan sa rate. Pero copywriting, your rate can be, you can charge for, it can be a per article. Usually what I do is I have a basis like 500 words. Yun. And then meron din ng per hour ang rate. Are you writing for social media? Are you writing for blog content? Are you writing for a website? So kanina, di ba sinabi natin, a website content is static. So hindi siya basta-basta nag-change din. So para siyang kontrata na kasabay siya pag gumawa ng website. Or kasabay siya, usually minsan si SEO mag-hire ng copywriter or si web designer or web developer mag-hire ng copywriter din na magtutulong sa kanya. So parang minsan ang kontrata yon. And then there's also pag nagsusat naman ng blog, iba din ang rate. So, hindi ko siya masasagot kung how much talaga kasi iba-iba. Ang I would advise what you check on is how much ba talaga yung pinaka-minimum na pwede ng isang copywriter. Something that would be fair on your part and fair on the client's part. Kasi there are other clients na very generous and there are others naman na medyo parang because it's in the Philippines, they can just ask like ganitong rate lang. Or there are other copywriters just for the sake of competition or ma-win ang isang client, they would offer something very low, which is minsan for me personally, hindi siya fair on their part din. Okay, how many words should the blog content have? I go for 500. 300, before ang advice is 300. I usually ask writers for 300 to 500 words. So, may iba naman na blog, napansin ko ng 1,000 words. Pero, ang way ng formatting niya sa pagsulat is very scannable siya. So, ganun. Pero ang pinaka-advice is 500, 300 to 500 words. Okay. Would it be best to have an updated blog separated from the website? Or is it already enough? If you have a website, then I would advise, if it's interesting, if you have a website, then you can just have a dedicated page for your blog contents there. Kesa sa mag-create ka na naman ng another blog site just for your contents, for your blog contents. Kasi ang nangyayari, imbis na isahan na lang yung pupuntahan ng tao, as, again, it's always about the reader's convenience. Kung dalawang site pa ang pupuntahan nila, medyo hassle on their part. Whereas kung nasa website mo na, meron kang isang area for your for blog content, for your blog posts or updates, then meron kang homepage, about us page, and then they can just check, and doon na pwede nilang i-click yung yung blog site or yung blog page mo. So it's easier for them. Keep it up to date. Is there a tool to practice that? Grammarly. Si Grammarly. And, pero pagdating sa active and passive voice, napansin ko, effective si Hemingway. Yun. I'll try to check kung paano ako makaka-share sa inyo ng sites. Let me check later kung pwede ako makapag-chat dito na. Okay. Can you briefly teach us how to create a blog? Okay. If you're asking me to write a blog content now, I think that wouldn't be advisable because of yung time then, and we have other questions to entertain. But just a brief lang with regarding sa blog content. Again, sige, paano ba? Kasi nasabi na kanina din research who are your target audience. Ano bang issue yung gusto mong i-address or ano ba yung gusto mong i-share doon na content? You can outline first. That would be easy for you to create an outline before you write. At least you can check kung paano mo ba i-format siya, if you have to bullet it or number mo siya or subheadings. So, yun. How exactly is copy? We're here in the Philippines. Copywriting in demand is a shop. I think most of the time, in my case kasi, ang parati ko na encounter, kasi I have it on, clients usually contact me on LinkedIn. It's more on foreign. Kung meron mang mga copywriter, may mga firms mo dito sa Philippines na naghahanap, foreign din ng clients. But there are, of course, businesses right now who are also looking for copywriters, especially pag mag-start sila ng website, or even as simple as magpapagawa lang ng content for their social media. Minsan kasi may ibang mga social media specialists. Iba si specialist, iba si social media manager. Minsan magkukuha sila ng team, meron sa kanilang graphics, si social media specialist or strategist, tapos si copywriter. Siya yung nagsusulat. So, depende din. I can't exactly say kung gaano siya or let's say yung percentage.
Okay po, thank you, Ms. Jan. My question po from FB Live. Okay. So from Sir Romel Icano, is it advisable to integrate a news page on a website? The news page is updated regularly.
Okay, yeah. Wait. Kumbaga, before wala siyang news page or...
I think yun po yung sinasabi niya. Yung ano po kasi, yung website niya daw, is it possible ba or advisable to integrate a news page po? So, yun po siguro.
Yes, if your website, if you want to engage more with your audience or if you want to keep them posted with news regarding your industry, as long as it is related to what your website shares, then yes. Kesa sa gagawa ka ng different, from a different avenue, a different account naman or different location.
Okay po, ma'am. So, next po we have from Miss Genevieve Arnado Legama. Can we use Wix for blogging?
Yeah. May iba na gumagamit ng Wix for their website din, actually. um, a friend used to have it. So
Another po, so thank you, Ms. Jen. Another po, from Ms. Sheena Joy Dulia. Ano po ba ang guidelines for email copywriting?
email copywriting. Ano? Ako personally, hindi kasi ako masyadong nag-dive for email copywriting, but when I had the chance to try it, more on updates lang siya, like follow-ups, like uh, uh, they share a specific topic. Uh, May iba naman, they just share newsletters via the email. So, ibig sabihin, minsan kung ano yung content mo lang sa website, yun din ang binibigay nila. Minsan naman, they have a specific topic like their best offers. There are those who do content, email marketing with images. There are those who text lang. If you'll notice yung mga nag-share minsan ng like, mga gurus or coaches, they would share don't miss this exciting chance to learn or to join the webinar on this or to get this product at this rate. Like, hindi ako masyadong, hindi ako ganun ka-confident umigay ng tips sa email marketing. But yeah, those are some of the things that I've encountered so far. So next.
Okay, meron pa po ma'am isang question from FB Live before po tayo mag-move on sa Q&A natin sa Zoom. So, we have from Mary B. Emokling Espidillon. May free way po ba to create your own website?
You can try kung ano yung mga usual na blog site. Kanina maganda yung advice yung share kanina ng Wix. Yes. Kaso, when you create your website using, let's say, free siya, tapos third-party hosting, mapapansin mo, parati pa rin siyang may your domain name and then .wix.com or .wordpress.com nakasunod siya. Yun lang. But yeah, those are free ways for you to have your website.
Okay po, thank you ma'am. Entertain na lang po natin itong last 3 questions po from our Q&A so we can move on po to the next part of our webinar. Ito po, from, is it recommended for my contents to be translatable to other major dialects in the Philippines?
Ay, si Zoom. Okay, message ko siya kay Zoom. We translated to. I actually, I'm affiliated right now with a missions group, and that's actually one of the things that they do. They translate some of their contents for a specific, to a specific dialect, like Cebuano. And it depends on your need. If nakita mo na, kailangan talaga to, then yes, you should translate it.
Okay, next question po from Roma Verga. To maintain audience engagement and website or blog relevance, what is the recommended interval in releasing blog updates?
If you're starting once a week, ang question lang naman dyan is how often can you write and how if you have available or someone to help you out. But much better if you take it slow, like once a week would be good. I started with mine like once a week, pero nagkayatos ako, kaya medyo naiwan. So that's blog content, no? Updates. That's why it's very important na sa start pa lang may planning ka na kung anong content ang ilalabas mo. Then as you go or as you progress, you can, let's say, move for twice a week. And then you can actually create categories like, for example, for this day, it's more on news. Then the next day, or Wednesday, it's more on product reviews. And then the next day naman, it's more on your finds. Parang ganun. May mga, call this, parang feature.
Okay. Sige po. Another po from Ms. Jillian Velasco. Iba po bang style in writing sa social media compared to blog?
May similar siya. Kaso kasi sa social media, it's not what we call microblogging actually. Ang social media, makikita mo, ang pinaka-important din is the 160 characters. Kasi hanggang dyan lang siya. Ang mag-change na nga lang pagdating sa social media is kung saan platform ka nag-social. Like for example, you're writing for Facebook or you're writing on Twitter or IG. Since IG is more on photos, pwedeng minimum lang yung gamitin mo na caption. There was a time na mahaba yung na-share ko nga lang sa Facebook kasi we don't have a blog yet. And then pagdating sa, it's for where I'm working right now. Then pagdating sa IG, I have to minimize the captions kasi it's more on photos and dapat mag-speak. Pagdating naman sa Twitter, ang Twitter kasi it's parang siyang news lang. Parang dumadaan lang siya eh. Hindi na siya, unlike sa Facebook, the more engagement, the more shares, mag-appear siya parati sa top ng newsfeed. Mag-appear siya parati sa newsfeed ng mga naka-follow. But pagdating sa Twitter naman, kahit naka-follow ka, once na lumagpas na yung content, hindi na siya babalik. Kailangan kong bisitahin yung account mo. So, yun, mas shorter lang sa social media, but make sure na yung tone mo would be the same. Kaya inuna muna namin tong web and blogging kaysa sa social media. Kasi actually, your content on the blog, you can make it, you can repurpose one blog post for your social media content. You can do that. But most importantly, you have to know exactly yung tone o paano mo siya i-deliver. Kasi similar lang naman din yung target audience.
Meron pa po tayong pahabol na question. Is it okay to answer them po, ma'am? Ms. Jen?
Ano?
Meron pa po tayong pahabol na questions. Okay po ba i-entertain natin?
Sige, last two.
Okay, sige, last two po. Sige. What would be your advice for maintaining audience interest in blogs in contrast to that of vlogs?
What would be your advice to maintaining audience interest? It's still on what you share, actually. Marami nga lang talaga ngayon yung audio visual is very entertaining si vlog. Yan. Vlogs nga lang, you have to make, ganun pa rin, you have to make sure that your content is interesting. You shouldn't lose heart when it comes to, mas interested sila sa mga vlogs or kaysa sa magbasa ng kung ano man yung sinishare ko sa vlog. Hindi naman parating ganun. It's just a matter of target, the audience that you attract. Not everybody is for vlog or auditory and visual. Some would prefer it reading. So yun. Basta, just to keep audience interested, you have to also listen to them. You have to also be sensitive to what they need. You have to also offer valuable content. Reason before what we advise is sometimes you can be your own target audience. Parang you go for if you're going to plan for content or if you're going to plan your own blog, you can first check ano ba yung interesado ko na alam kong kaya kong hatakin din pati yung mga audience mo kasi I belong to that tribe or I belong to that kind of circle. And there are things that I can share to them na natutunan ko along the way that hopefully ma-share din sa kanila. So, that's all.
Yung last question na lang po. Ito po. Is it okay to include info from other references, but of course, we will do citing? If yes, ilan po ang percentage ng other references ang pwede include on the blog content?
Okay. References, back then, pag nag-include ako ng reference, or if I mention a reference, what I do is I link it on a specific word or a specific phrase that I mentioned. That is I did that for iDigital Time. Ganun din kasi yung pag-write nila ng content. Mas actually, mas in-acknowledge ni, ano yan, ni Google yan. Kasi ibig sabihin, you're really giving value. Hindi ka spam na kumuha ka lang ng content dito, kumuha ka ng content dito, gumawa ka ng sarili mong content, or hindi mo in-acknowledge, or you made it your own. There are some bloggers who do that. There are some writers who do that. But it's because it's part of what is needed sa just to give valuable content. Minsan kasi parang, nirecommend ko pa yung kompetensya ko, may ganun. I think 2 would be okay, but hindi mo gagawin siya parati sa susunod na blog post mo. You mentioned some din naman from time to time, but not always. So, yan. I hope that was clear.
Okay, so yun po. May humahabol po sanang isang question. Ini-insist niya ata since 2 times niya po in-enter yung question.
Two times.
Okay. So, okay na, Miss Jen, no? Okay na po?
Yes. First yung sinabi niya. How platform to be. This is, sige, last na to.
Okay, sige po, sige po.
Sige, how platforms to be used to become a blog. How to make your blog attractive. There is a design. When you use your blog, there are themes and templates available, and you can just choose from them. That's one way. But you also have to, I would advise you also check out other blogs. But this is not because they're your competition or not. But rather you can get ideas, useful information, and also how they made it effective for them. It's good to always study. It's good to always learn from others. It's a collaborative environment, I think.
So, ayun po. Okay na. Okay na po. So no more questions na po. So, yung mga questions po natin iba ay isave na lang natin for our next webinar po. Of course, meron pa tayong next webinar with Miss Jen. So, i-inform na lang po namin kayo sa aming FB Live. So, yun po. For our wrap-up po, may we call on po Miss Maria Divina Hantero, Ma'am Vina, to give po the wrap-up of our webinar. Naka-mute ka pa po, ma'am.
Yeah. Ms. Jen, thank you very much again for gracing us with your presence, with your expertise, sharing your expertise and yung mga important tips. So na-observe po natin ang daming questions because everyone is very interested in the topic. And na-observe din natin siguro karamihan po dito are writers. Filipinos actually are love reading and love writing. So ito po, siguro it's about time that we should learn how to retrofit or re-engineer our writing and make it work as a source of income, di po ba? So yun, your love for writing, parang magkakaroon ng bagong anyo. So through Miss Jenny for inspiring us, o siguro marami na dito magiging copywriter. We have ang dami namin nakuhang tips from Miss Jenny and also naintindihan na natin what ang difference ng website, content writing, and blog writing contents. So yun. Miss Lai, di ba may bibigay tayong certificate for Miss Jenny? She's always been a very willing partner and actually a friend of the ICT. So actually, nandito pa po siya sa office with us. Talagang ganun niya kalab ang DICT. So, yun na lang po, Miss Jenny. Thank you for, sa next time mo po ulit. And live, do the honors.
Yes po. So, we will be awarding na po the certificate of commendation to Miss Jenny G. Jimenez. So, I will read po the content of the certificate. So, certificate of commendation. This is hereby awarded to Miss Jenny G. Jimenez, has earned 1 training hours for conducting the copywriting, writing web and blog content webinar of Department of Information and Communications Technology, Luzon Cluster 3, Sorsogon, held on August 20, 2020. Signed by our Regional Director, Michelle C. Ortega. So, thank you po, Miss Jen. Thank you po for always supporting the ICT Sorsogon on our projects po like this po, ang mga activities namin. Okay, so before po tayo mag-out ng Zoom participants and FB Live viewers po natin, may I give you the evaluation link and also some reminders po para po ma-accomplish natin ng tama ang ating evaluation form. So, for accomplishing po our evaluation form, there will be a section na meron po tayong submit link ng ating output or assignment. So upon submitting po the link or copying the link from your Google Drive or Google Docs, you need to make sure po na ang permission or restrictions niya ay anyone with the link can view. Okay po? Uulitin ko po. Restriction or permission should be anyone with the link can view. Okay po. View access po yung kailangan namin para po makita ni Ms. Jen yung mga magagandang output niyo po, of course. So, ayun. So, we hope you learned something new today. To those who failed to register or join our Zoom meeting, syempre meron po tayong FB Live na pwede nyo pong i-replay. So, everyone is entitled for the digital certificate, whether you join the Zoom meeting or watch the live broadcast. The requirements for digital certificates are the completion of the evaluation form with the assignment or output. Link posted on your screens. Ayan po. So, accomplish those requirements and expect the digital certificates in 2 weeks after the webinar for processing. So we hope we have informed you well. Stay tuned on the upcoming webinars and important announcement on our DICT LC3 page and of course DICT Luzon Cluster 3 Sorsogon Facebook page. And thank you to all our viewers, especially to our participants and of course our resource person, Ms. Jenny Jimenez. Of course, thank you, ma'am. And the DICT LC3 for making this webinar a successful endeavor. We are more than delightful to provide you with the webinars that will equip you on the new normal way of remote learning and teaching on, of course, your career po on online copywriting. So yun, that's our end of our webinar. So thank you po for attending. Thank you, Ms. Jen. Of course, thank you, Ms. Jen. Our Luzon Cluster 3 office. And of course, our participants po na nagko-continue na mag-attend ng ating webinar for new learnings and knowledge po na mag-gain nila. So, thank you po.
Thank you. Bye-bye.